Hi everyone, welcome to MaryAnne's Mystic Mentions. I'm MaryAnne. Welcome to your daily Sun Sign Love Connection reading. I am so excited to be here with you. I was not able to upload yesterday, and that just, well, it always affects me, and I apologize to those that have been so loyal to me and supportive and who have subscribed, and the new people. Honest to God, every day when I see that, I start crying actually. I feel such joyfulness and happiness from it. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you very, very much. It means very much to me. And yes, so I'm actually glad because yesterday was not a day to record, even if I wanted to. And what's really interesting is the featured sun sign today for your love connections readings is that of Gemini. And whether it were yesterday or today, it's basically going to be the same information for you because it was so evident to me when I started thinking, oh my gosh, we were on Gemini. And it's exactly what was happening. It's all about connection. It's all about, talking and commerce, Gemini ruled by Mercury. Changeability, ideas, movement, excitability. I can't even say that. I'm so sorry. Too excited. Anyway, it's versatility. It's what am I trying to say? It's multitasking, greatly multitasking. This is what yesterday was about. Orchestrating, right? Different people, different circumstances, bringing them together. And what's really interesting is, of course, like I said, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so that's the mind, right? And the thoughts and the way that we can express ourselves. Air is the element of Gemini. So the lungs and speaking and bringing it out, right? Bringing it out into the open in some form, whatever it is. And in a positive way. I feel like there's a positivity always with Gemini because they want to teach and to express and to learn and to share and they're constantly on the move, it seems, and that's what was happening all day yesterday for me. And I needed to talk throughout the day, and it had to be with conversations on my phone, which is how I record. That couldn't be missed. It was fitting the puzzles together, right? It was absolutely perfect and still is. We have a full moon partial eclipse on Sunday in Gemini, so we're clearly feeling it already. Most of us will be. You're certainly going to feel it as we then approach Saturday. It'll be Sunday/Monday. Supermoon, third one in this year, closer to the earth. So we're going to see it more. We're definitely going to feel the vibrations and the energy. And the thing about, eclipses, as I've said before, is they're like a full moon on steroids. Because of this energy that they exude, because of the main focus of that particular sign or, personality traits, as I've said, and what that means in individual lives and as a whole, because it affects us all. It just excites me to say it. And then coupling that with, well, let's see what your highlighted connection is, for Pete's sakes. I'm sorry, I get so wrapped up in what's happening and what I'm feeling. So you're absolutely love it. It's a little bit on both, but I'm going to go with Sagittarius, and I don't think I did that recently. I looked and saw Pisces last month for the highlighted with Gemini, and I also saw, not coming to mind, but it wasn't this. And this is your polar opposite. And let me tell you why this is so spiritually, I think, serendipitously created, because we have what I said, we have the Gemini full moon on the 30th, and then next month we have, because we're starting a new series of eclipses again, and the second one in December on the 14th is going to be in Sagittarius. It's quite remarkable because you're polar opposite, but these are two signs that I see in a connective way, in a compassionate way, in a love, scenario, as well as friend and all the different variables. Now, I want to mention something really quickly. For those that are new, I do a featured sun sign around the zodiac at least twice because I have my, beginning of the month readings, and then I do my mid-month, which is what we're on now. Today is actually November 24th, 2020. And what happens after that is there's like 4 days, what's it going to be? Give or take. I started on Leo this month. I usually start on Aries, but something different happened at the end of the month last month. So what I'm going to do with the last 4 days is just read for the featured signs, 2 of the same sun sign, and then all of their connections. So I had gotten a comment, and I appreciate you so much if you're watching now, because I love any kind of correspondence. That's all part of this Gemini thing. That's why I do the channel. I love my readings. I love my tarot. I love astrology. I love all of esoterical things. It is my passion, but I love it because I want to connect and be able to have a new group in my life, a new way of life, and through this YouTube, it's really new for me. So I absolutely love it, and I really appreciate it. And what I said was, well, the question was, would I do readings for singles and each individual sign? And I feel like I basically am, because the featured sign is a single person, right? Theoretically. And then what I'm doing is I'm, like I said, tossing the dice for the highlighted connection, which could be a part of your life already, but maybe not. Maybe that's up and coming. Maybe that's somebody you're about to meet, which is even more exciting when it comes up that way, because then you can say, oh my gosh, I just saw MaryAnne's reading, and it was saying how the highlighted one would be Gemini, and it's not for every Gemini, of course, or Sagittarius, but you get where I'm going. And then every individual, I will read 3 specific major categories for the highlighted, like I do every day. And then I'm going to read an individual message with the tarot, being the gilded tarot this month, for every other sign. So yeah, no, I would say very strongly that it is about a single person looking into their possibilities and their connections with romance, with love of their family and their animals and their pets and their, that would be an animal, and their work relations, their garden, their plants, whatever it is. Because I love my plants. I literally do. I feel like they're a part of my world. They're alive, right? So you know what I'm saying. So yes, I hope that's making sense, and that you can find a different perspective, which is also hugely a part of this Gemini aspect, okay? And that is about perspective. Everything in our life is how we really perceive it, right? And we do have different perceptions. It's merging together on our differences, diversities. It's so very timely in this day and age, this very moment, and what's happening in the world. So I love it. And so as a fellow air sign, I feel that kind of beautiful, harmonious feeling anyway. And then the last thing I'll say is we're in Sagittarius season, so it's beautiful that came up as well as the highlighted sign. And also, we had the moon in Pisces till around 10:30 this morning, and now it has gone into Aries, which is the fellow fire sign to Sagittarius. So there's great complementary, energetic, motivational type of energy, and I'm hoping you're feeling that. I had to go out and do some shopping earlier, and the sun is out, and I feel like people are just like, yeah, let's get this. We have a beautiful Thanksgiving holiday coming up for most of us here in United States. So loving beautiful stuff. Happy to be here. Happy to share this with you. Let's get going. So I mentioned pretty much everything, I think. Gemini's personality traits, what they're going to be really bringing to all of us. And, in a wonderful way, should we look at it in that way? And yeah, it's a busy sign. It's not going to be boring. But like I said, it's about, multitasking and really, really making an effort to really voice ourselves, our thoughts, our expression, our ability to emerge in the world. And boy, with this highlighted Sagittarius is that fire and so optimistic, and really future thinking, and really believing in what they can do and how they can make an imprint in the world, and higher learning, and in foreign cultures, accepting all and being a part of all of it, traveling to foreign places, even if it's another city you haven't been to right now. It's very much dependent on what we can do and what we feel comfortable doing. Freedom seeking, both signs I would consider to be freedom. Very complementary to each other. Very interested in fun and new and, adventure type of activities. Very interested in love, Now, it starts a lot of times with both of these signs as a good friendship, and then that blossoms. And boy, that friendship as a foundation is one of the best types you can have in relationships. I found that to be really true because, things change and you're like, well, you're looking a little different in your older age. But I love you so much for your heart and who you really are that all that doesn't matter at all, right? Anyway, I really like this combination and I'm excited to see what your messages are. So let's get forward with that. And so I'll mention what the categories are after I've laid them out. Wow, a lot of repeats. I almost feel like, honestly, not yesterday, but the day before, that was the first. I'm not sure. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's pretty much everything I was saying. But let's see what we have for the love. Oh, God, I love it. Okay, so the first category is always the overall energy that this highlighted connection is feeling. And it is kind of also, like I called, the catalyst. What's been happening to this point up to this reading, because today and onward is going to maybe change everything that I'm speaking of with this energy, but it could last. And let me tell you, those eclipses will last in our life, their influence on us for 6 months to a year. So like I said, we're entering into that eclipse season again. It's changed signs from Capricorn and Cancer to Gemini and Sagittarius, so they're in whole different houses, greatly different feelings. Like I said, optimism, forward-thinking, change, and that's going to continue for about 1.5 years in those two signs, I believe. And then the other aspect of it is it can really bring things into our lives quickly as well as take them out, right? Eclipses are just that. They eclipse things. So being prepared for that is good. You don't necessarily know what that is. Maybe you do. But not to feel alarmed. Everything that is taken out leaves room for better things. And things that are brought in sometimes are the most amazing, wonderful things, especially when it comes to our relationships and love. You have the overall energy being the 5 of Wands. So it's absolutely perfect. It is energy, it is fire, it is motivation, it is movement. It is sometimes aggression and maybe controversial kind of, energy that's certainly going on around in the world. I mean, no wonder it keeps coming up. I always say, though, when I see this, it could be yourself. It could be not necessarily the two of you, meaning, Gemini and Sagittarius. Maybe you've been having a little more difficulty in being able to have a meeting of the minds. Maybe it's a possibility, but what I'm really picking up is the outside world and how it's just really chaotic in a lot of ways. Because it is. It's not just in the cards. It actually really is. And yes, you can take it in, or you can decide that I'm leaving it out there. And that's what I always will say about this beautiful energy card, because of course we always have free will, no matter what the cards are saying, right? Or the energies coming that are very much there. How we choose to, react and respond is solely up to us. So there's that, right? And there's like, I'm not necessarily want to get involved with that. I'm not really interested in that energy anymore. I want to have a beautiful, peaceful kind of feeling for the time being. And that's, like I said, very doable. And also, we need that sometimes to get ourselves motivated. We had, like I said, Mars was in retrograde. Most of the planets were in retrograde. The outer planets, all of them. This year is, every year it happens. But there are longer periods of time that, for example, Mars was in Aries, in retrograde for 2 months, and will still be in Aries till January. So January 6th, to be exact. And that affected you, Sagittarius. It affected everybody, but being a fellow fire sign, you felt really kind of like stifled, that feeling of, oh my gosh, I just want to move. And that's exactly what Sagittarius is about. Moving and shaking and making it happen. Well, that's changing, right? It all started to go forward, and it's all going forward. And I think we all feel that. And that's part of the beauty of this time. It happens every year when we have Sagittarius. Now, the second category is that of possible blessings or obstacles. And there you have the 5 of, so you've got 2 5s right off the bat. 5 is change. 5 is transformation. 5 is working through challenges. That would have been yesterday with me, trust me, you know, just making it happen, asking for the help and cooperation. You know, Gemini influences coming through. Swords is the mind. Swords are the air signs. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Five of Swords is just kind of, once again, not getting involved. Not going to say that. I know I'll regret it. You know, fire signs tend to be very upfront, very authentic, you know, not necessarily tactful. I mean, I'm going to say it like it is, you know, and I have a lot of very dear friends and family that are fire signs that I love. And I respect them for that, as long as they're not cruel, you know, and that's not generally what it's about. They never want to do that. They just think before they, or talk before they think, I should say. But right now it's like, yeah, I'm kind of letting go of the conversations that I have heard way too many times. I don't want to have that conversation with you anymore. I don't even really believe it. I don't trust in what I'm hearing. I'm holding up my sword, the sword of truth. Sagittarius is very much about truth, philosophy, higher thinking, higher knowledge, sharing that, you know. It's beautiful. It's that optimism and that belief in changes for the better. And then, yeah, just sticking to your guns about that. And you always have that choice. So yeah, if there was some obstacle here, it's just you're pretty much done with the conflicting information and untruths that have been are being said at this moment. And it could be in a small circle, it could be in the world, it could be variables like that. But I think you know what I mean. I think we all are feeling that. So yeah, just feeling cool. You've got the three swords, you've got the one in your hand. I'm good. They'll be here when I need to discuss or debate or what have you. I'll still have that strength, but I'm not going to mess with things that don't interest me. I don't have the time. Now the final category though is finances, and you have the 8 of Pentacles. I'm sorry, let me double check. I'm wrong. It's the 10. It's the holy enchilada. It's the real deal. It is incredible prosperity and wealth. And yes, it's about finances. It is about finances. It's about stability. It's about strength. It's about security, right? Security in how we live, in our jobs, in our belief systems, in our well-being. Our health is in our wealth. Our wealth is in our health. So it is money, but it's also maybe having money to take care of yourself better, to really focus on that and your connection. And I don't know, it's just so beautiful. A turtle is on here. They represent, you know, I've heard good luck. The sun is inside, inscripted in this beautiful little chest, and the outside for vibrance and energy that's positive. That's what you're about. Sagittarius, Gemini, I mean, working towards things to make the happiest kind of life together, right? And if you're saying to me, MaryAnne, I don't know what you're talking about, wait and see, because that's what happens with eclipses. Because if things haven't been great financially, and let me just share with you, I always like to give a little bit of a personal reference, because you know I am absolutely the most optimistic person you'll meet, and I'm having a lot of challenges, not with that, but with my life. So I am having to make so many expensive, you know, decisions about my refrigerator, my car, all the things I absolutely need. This is the sustenance to make our lives easier, right? And yet I know inside it's all going to come back, because that is the law of attraction. That is the absolute law, where when you give it, you get it back. It's just the give and take. You actually have to do that to make it work well. And so, and the fact that it was there to be able to make these purchases is the godsend, right? That's what this is about. And honestly, things that are going to come in you don't know about yet. And help with government, help with the institutions coming through. All the changes that are going to transpire when the earth signs that have been predominantly in the planets It changes to Aquarius, which is about truth and fairness and justice and money and you know, the right way to utilize it, the right way, and people to help us with those situations. You know, that's the prevalent energy. That is gorgeous. And I like to end on that because that is really important. This other stuff is just you being very much aware and feeling the energy, holding your ground, you know, choosing your battles, like I said, but not necessarily wanting a battle right now. Not at all. You're not in that mind frame at all. So this is good for you. And then having that beautiful security that the two of you worked so hard for. You know, you haven't necessarily been sitting back. I don't believe in a lot of cases, and certainly with people I've known, they have not been without work, though a lot of us are and have been, myself included. Many people were working overtime, right? So I love that. And I'm going to read an individual message for every other connection with Gemini. And Geminis love connections. They really do. They're a social being. Oh, yeah. I mean, they can be homebodies, but trust me, they have the gift of gab and insight and ability to share that and to kind of spur you on and lift you up in ways that I have seen over and over again. So yeah, let's just talk about from the, we'll go around the zodiac, Scorpio and Gemini. Very, very excitable, kind of beautiful, passionate connection here. We have the water element of Scorpio. The intensity is very, very clear to see. And depending on the Scorpio and what's in their chart, it can vary, you know, but they have depth within them. They are ruled by the planet of Pluto, which is absolutely all about transformation. It's about the kind of darker, shadowy sides, because we go inside and we recognize things about ourselves that don't make us necessarily happy, but we're willing to really work at to change or not. But it's there and it's real and it's raw and it's about success and the transformation. Now, you know, Scorpios have great psychic ability. They're very, very intuitive. And they understand you, Gemini. They understand how your mind works. Don't try to pull one over on them. You know, your light and airy, a lot of times, energy is very different, but it's very seductive. And it's, guess what? Just remember, we have Venus, the sign of love and beauty and money and all those beautiful romantic energies that come with the Venetian energy of Venus. It's in Scorpio. So something's really working for you, and it's nice and it's beautiful and it's better than it's been. You know, the communication is going to be better because sometimes not all Scorpios want to really talk that much about how they're feeling. You got to pull it out of them, right? Well, I think that's going to be easier for you now. And I think that Gemini moon is going to really, really instigate that and really activate that. What does your message say? Oh, the lovers. Perfect selection. Very, very, very romantic. So those of you out there who are in this connection, you know it's on. Maybe others aren't only just about to meet this connection you have, Gemini. I mean, it's not one you'll forget. And I hope it's a long, long-term one. And if no, rather, nothing else, like I said, certainly in a beautiful relationship, because you're going to have a very, very loyal friend with Scorpio. And if it's not about selection of this loving romance, it's selection of the right person to help you, to feel that security with, in work, in family, you know, that very special cousin of yours, and getting together for Thanksgiving and just feeling really alive and very passionate. I love it. That's a major arcana. So then we have Libra. Libra and Gemini is great. They make great couples and friends, and they have both the same element of air. And Libra's all about, you know, fairness and justice like you are, Gemini. And Libra's, I would say, a more calmer energy. They probably work at that balance, you know, because if not, then they feel off. I'm not saying it's always there, but that's the main, you know, desire for a lot of Libras is to find balance in everything and relationships particularly. And, you know, equilibrium, compromise, they recognize the duality in you because they themselves as the scales are always really trying to find that balance. That's a sense of duality. You know, if they're off balance, you're going to see them one way, and if not, they're another. So there's that changeable part that you can relate to, Gemini. You're very much like that. There's a really beautiful energy between the two of you. It's fun and lively a lot of times too. And Venus is the ruling planet of Libra, so there's love there and compassion with each other, patience. So what do you have? Oh my gosh, the Ten of Wands. Listen, there's been a lot of activity, a lot of burdens that I think have been put on, if not both of you. Certainly individually, you're feeling that you've been having like the world, carrying the world on your shoulders. And that's kind of how I felt with what's happening in my life, and having to, you know, recognize there are things that I have to do that I would never have put in the priority list. And the universe is saying, these have been needing to be attended to. They're old, and that's what happens. When things are older, they break down, and when they break down, they need to be replaced. And you need other people to help you with that. And I feel like this is it. This is the new cycle. You've come so far. And now with that full moon lunar eclipse in the back of this, even Gemini, Libra, you can let go of a lot of that feeling. You can just take that sigh of deep breath, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the year. It's the end of this turmoil, internally or outside, you know, that fiery thing where you're just like, I've got to make this happen. And it's a pressure. It's been like a pressure cooker, right? Saturn's in the mix. It's in Capricorn. It's just really, you got to do what you got to do unless you, in order to get and receive the, you know, the reward. Saturn is going to keep you on task, and all of that's been in the mix. And guess what? It's changing, so that's beautiful. Perhaps you both work together really hard on a project, or, you know, something having to do with communication, of course. A book, you know, a podcast. Anything like that comes to mind. You're incredibly good at and artistic when it comes to ideas and entrepreneurship. So I'd be curious, let me know. If you have not subscribed, I would love you to push that subscribe button. I mean, YouTube requires it if it wants me to continue to evolve and share and all the things that I want to do with this channel. So yeah, please feel free to do that, and then comment and push the notification bell, because every day is a little different with me working again. But I'll be here as many and often as I can, and hopefully every day with those exceptions that come in mind. Then we have Gemini and Virgo. I like it a lot. Very, very different. Earth and air, you know, and like night and day, which is exactly why it works. And I had known, in fact, my good friend, who's a Gemini, we're both 9s. She's June 9th, I'm October 9th, and she is everything I say and more. I know her whole chart, though, of course. So she has Earth in her chart, and her husband is a Virgo. Completely different, and they just love each other so much. They really help each other. He certainly grounds her, sometimes more than she even wants. I'm sorry if you're watching. But also, the Gemini kind of spurs this interest and activity in the Virgo, pulls him out of his rut, right? In that steadfast kind of, let me do it this way, and methodical and reliable, which is all beautiful things, right? But not something you're going to necessarily find with the Gemini. So you balance each other out, no doubt about it. Virgo is a mutable sign like you are. Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, so you're both very interested in thinking and ideas together, and you can share that. Communication is key in relationships, right? I think you have plenty of that. Maybe too much at times, right? So, I mean, I like that. Let's see what your message says. The Fool. Wow, that's so perfect. When you have a new beginning with the energies of certainly the full moon, even though it's full and it brings culmination and light to situations that have to stop and end and be done, the hidden things come through, right? And then we have the new eclipse just next month on the 14th in Sagittarius, and truth and forward thinking and activities and movement, maybe moving to another country, maybe moving to another location or job. You're just like open to it all. You just, whatever has to be. After this year, I think we all have a full mentality. Bring it, you know? I've been as flexible as I can be. I can do back bends and cartwheels at this rate, because I've just been so adaptable. I've had no choice, and it's It's actually really helped me a lot, right? I'm speaking us when I say me, but I love it. That is wonderful energy. And trusting. It's a huge amount of trust there. Knowing you're going to be handled and taken care of. Everything will have solutions. Everything will be spoken and written about and talked about. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful energy. So then you have Leo and Gemini, which I love because that is a gorgeous connection when it comes to the elements as well as the astrology signs. But we have the air and fire. I almost said water again. Air and fire, and they work so well together. They're stimulating, you know. They're adventurous. They're productive. It's air, you know, fanning the fire and making it grow, and it's not too much though, right? Keeping that temperance there, and the balance. But yeah, firing up the desire and the thoughts that keep coming in the minds of Geminis and all air signs. You have the sun-ruled Leo of just this great confidence and exuberance and energy personified, also a fire sign, very complementary with the season of Sagittarius we're in. I'm telling you, what was held back and still not completely able to go forward yet, as we all know, is really going to the floodgates are going to open. So now you're talking about it and you're expressing it and you're kind of working things through and you're happy and you're joyful and you're having fun. You got to bring that fun into the mix, right? Your message and your beautiful tarot energy today is the Ace of Cups. That's all your emotion. Now, Leo is extremely heart-centered and so passionate. And I know well that Geminis are very emotional, but they try to keep that emotion out when they're doing their thing. It's about the mind, and let's get this straight, and I'm going to do the best I can in my job and the creativity that I, you know, share with the world. This is beautiful. This is the beginning, something you could start brand new and fresh with. Filling your cups, filling your creativity, knowing that you have the capability, knowing that you could take it anywhere, and just feeling really, really good right now. You're feeling really content. So I like that a lot. There's not much more I need to say. I've always loved the Ace. You know, the world is your oyster. Just what do you want to do with it? How do you want to create? What do you want to become when you grow up? Kind of an analogy. Then we have Gemini and Cancer. I love it. Right next to each other, you know, air and water. Water of the, all water signs, but like Scorpio, definitely Cancer, very sensitive, very nurturing, kind of feminine energy, always is equated with the water signs, you know, ruled by the moon. Well, that moon is, I know you're feeling it, Cancer. I mean, I have a Pisces rising, and I'm definitely right there with it already. It's already giving us hints, and even before this week, even last week, as soon as last week, you've started to recognize your need to be vulnerable, to speak out. You can be a little more introverted at times, not always. You know, you have that hard shell exterior and this beautiful, soft, gooey, loving, sentimental, caring side to you. You can be moody, as can Gemini, so you guys just deal with it because you get it. You can relate to each other that way. But yeah, very creative, very capable energy. So the two of you might be very interested in, you know, working through some things that have to do with money and growing, because you're very good with money, very shrewd and very capable. You know how to manage money. And that could be taught to Gemini. Not all Geminis, but Geminis love to spend money. I'm serious. You're a little bit more practical, I would say. That's a great harmony thing to happen for the two of you, because you help out that way, right? And Gemini helps you to just be more maybe expressive and not so much within yourself, right? And just speak how you feel. It's so freeing. And yeah, let us see. And you're a cardinal sign, so you're very much about initiating and making things happen. You represent the season of summer. And you have the Three of Cups, so this is absolutely beautiful. This is absolutely celebration. It's libation. It's celebrating you, celebrating this connection, celebrating family, celebrating Thanksgiving if you do. feeling really happy. You know, I mean, obviously we've all had so many ups and downs this year, right? And it won't be forgotten. It'll take a while, especially with cancers. Cancers hold on to things a long time because they're just that sentimental. And they're really going to work at holding on to the better things from this year, because there are blessings that came from this year and will continue to before we're done. We're not done yet. This is beautiful. Watching how much you drink, you know, and loving yourself and enjoying yourself, but watching yourself for the sake of your well-being, because that's important during this time of year also. And then Gemini and Taurus. Well, this has happened so much. I feel so much like I'm deja vuing and like I recently just read this for the last Gemini, but it didn't show that in my notes. But also because I read an individual for each. Never mind. I just love this energy together. It is also different, but it also is the combinations that I've seen for decades. The Taurus and the Gemini. You're right next to each other, so you've always kind of been feeling each other's energies. Taurus is a fixed sign, boy. They are so determined and hardworking, and I didn't mention it, but so are Geminis. You know, you have the ones that don't necessarily want to work, or maybe they're younger, they're not sure what they want to do. They have so many ideas and possibilities, but when they get their mindset on, they're very competitive in a lot of ways, so they have to be the best at what they do. I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, you know, it motivates you, and it's beautiful, and that's the same kind of energy with Taurus. They're going to get the job done, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get it done. And they're ruled by Venus, so they love luxury. They love money. They're known as the money sign. Lots of beautiful possibilities with this connection. What does your reading say? Oh, Eight of Pentacles. There you go. Hardworking, incredibly prosperous, abundant energy for the two of you. 8 is exactly that, the biggest manifester number. I know that I had read and been listening to where, I guess partially due to Neptune and a conjunction that's happened already and maybe still might be happening, but it's conjunction with Neptune where our mind and our imagination and our ability to fantasize and create and manifest is so heightened right now. As it goes forward on the 28th, what's that going to be? Sunday? No, Saturday, just before this eclipse. I mean, you can do anything. You have to be able to believe it and utilize that energy the best you can. And that's what's happening. Just feeling really secure and prosperous right now. And that's well-deserved. I always say it, and it makes me excited. And you're just going to keep growing from here. The 8 just sends you more. It makes you more inspired, you know. And why not? I mean, luxury is a beautiful thing. Feeling that security and that safety is really awesome. Gemini and Aries. I love it. Fire and air, right? Aries went, you know, station 4. We have the moon in Aries for the next couple of days. Talk about motivation and cardinal sign kind of energy of let's get things going. What are we going to start? What's happening? I'm the first sign. I'm only knowing about leadership. I'm only knowing about confidence. That's how I was born. That's been inside of my blood, you know, my DNA, ruler planet Mars, you know, action, aggression, you know, getting it done by hook or by crook, you know, having to voice yourself and your opinions because they have to be heard. And, you know, you don't want to fight about it, but you're not going to stand and you're not going to sit back. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. So the two of you are really instrumental in great conversations and making things happen for sure. And you have the 7 of Swords. So, okay. Yeah, something hasn't been exactly on the up and up. And in my opinion, if I may interject, because this is a message coming through, it's people that have not been really beneficial to you in your life. Certainly not through the way they've been speaking to you. And we need to have that self-respect and ability to say, I'm not going there with you. We're not going to have this conversation. I mean, it could be you doing this, but I'm not sensing that. If you look, it's a man and he sees this behind him. He's gotten rid of that energy. He said, that's it. We're cutting that out. The two of you together are standing strong about what you believe. Swords are the energy of Gemini. So yeah, you need to talk together and say, listen, I haven't felt comfortable about this particular thing or topic or conversation, and I need you to be, we need to stand strong in solidarity about this. And then holding those swords for better conversations coming up, because that's what the whole thing is about in this future, eclipse. Not even really feeling bad about it, actually relieved. And probably knowing very well the people I'm speaking of as I read this to you, that weren't actually being necessarily honest. Maybe a little bit of a trickery was going on, deception. You're going to get that with the moons. But truth came through with that beautiful energy of Scorpio and Venus, which is about exactly that, revealing truth, hidden. We just finished Scorpio season, so a lot of that was coming through. It still is. It's still out there. So I liked it a lot. And then you have Gemini and Pisces. This is a beautiful combination. Pisces is a water sign, an element. Pisces is absolutely one of the most spiritual and giving and sensitive, caring, very, very creative. We have Neptune in the sign of Pisces. It has been for a while. It will continue to be, but it was in retrograde in Pisces. And that's just about the vulnerability and the misunderstanding and the cloudiness that, ruled by Neptune. That's the god of underworld, the things we don't see but are very, very much there, hidden from us, but very able to kind of help us in our imagination, in our fantasy, in our dream life. Dreams can be very, very prevalent right now for certainly Pisces, water signs, but everybody with Neptune going forward in our favor, allowing us to see just how creative we can be. Mutable sign like you, Gemini, beautiful energies together. Death, yes. Oh my gosh, transformation, like I said. Ending of one situation or lifestyle or perception, like I mentioned way at the beginning, into the new. The things that have not served us are not going to be there anymore. And yes, it could mean a literal death. Obviously, there's been a lot this year. I get emotional talking about that because, my heart goes out to everybody. It's hard to lose somebody and not be able to talk to them in person, but they're always going to be around us and always there, and probably sometimes more than others when they were alive. But more importantly, this is the difference in your perception, your outlook, in a positive way. Out with the old, in with the new, and that was given to us this year, whether we wanted it or not. But this is more of a decisive choice of your own that you're working through together and seeing beautiful new opportunities coming through for you. And then we have Aquarius and Gemini. I also love it. Both air signs. We're entering into the modern, age of Aquarius. Boy, that is going to be just so much about mind and thought and communication and oh my gosh, ruled by Uranus. Aquarius is knowing all about that scientific, futuristic ways of doing things, technology, medicine, breaking past the barriers of the Capricorn energies of this year that have been with us for a long time. Institutions, authority. It's just kind of like, freedom. Let's break it through. Let's make it new. And loving, caring, social, very social. The two of you can just have huge amounts of friends and people together as a connection, which is good for networking and all sorts of things. And Aquarius is very much about that. They think in big terms, groups, organizations. I think of, like I always say, nonprofit kind of things that are going to help people that are less fortunate. And that's a big part of what we're looking forward to in these years ahead. Your message is the Eight of Wands, just action. Messages coming fast and furious. Energy like it is right now, boy, just that. It's all coming in. You've got to just figure it out and sort it out and, multitask and, and recognize, the different possibilities that are available to us. Fast, but energetic and positive, 8. Abundance, right? Whatever you put your mind to. And love that for you. And then Capricorn and Gemini. Once again, very opposite, but very, very, very complementary to each other. Capricorn is what we've had most of the planets in this year and continue to till, I believe the first change in Saturn will be on the 17th of December. So yeah, it was all about Capricorn, and we had Jupiter in Capricorn, and we had Saturn, and we had, of course, Pluto. And it just so happens Capricorn's ruling planet is Saturn. They're very, very structured and disciplined and capable of keeping their eye very focused on what they want and achieving exactly that, and allowing time, which is Saturn, and probably the king of time, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word right now. Yeah, they're very much aware of the importance of time. They know how to utilize time properly. They don't like to, to waste time, I guess you could say. They seem to be more of a reserved energy, and sometimes a little bit, less lively than a Gemini for sure, which is why I think it works, because that can be brought out of them. It's in there, right? Especially knowing that maybe they have air signs in their chart, which would automatically connect you to. But very, very hardworking, very devoted, very loyal. One of those people you want in your life that you know are going to be your anchor. Okay, so good things can happen with Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn. So anything that you're connected with in that regard, Gemini, I think is a positive thing. Of course it is. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Messages about money, messages about your security are coming through. And let me tell you, it's a slower moving message, but it's happening, and it's going to be something that'll last a long time. And there's that, kind of beautiful energy of the earth aspect of Capricorn there for you. They're willing to help you to grow and to, feel that security and the wealth with all of your energies that you put forth and how you help people. I love it. Yeah, that's gorgeous. I swear, it seems inevitable whenever I pull a connection with an earth sign. Most of the time the earth or coins or pentacles come up, because that's what they represent. And that's very much a part of their energy right now. So we're back to Sagittarius. Beautiful messages for you. Very inspirational. And yes, very aware of, what's going on in the world. You're certainly not, I don't think anybody could be unaware at this point. Well, I think if anything, you're just thinking, I don't want to know any more about that. I want to work with what I do know now, and I want to promote different and, positive energies and trust in what's coming up. Now, you know what? I'm going to incorporate a third oracle message for you. I consider an oracle message because I just got these and I love it. And it's called the Motivation Manifesto cards for exactly that. Let's keep this energy positive. Let's think in positive terms. In regards to the law of attraction, that's what will absolutely bring better things into your life. But you have to feel that into your life. You can't have an opposing thought versus how you're feeling. It has to work in harmony together. So let's pick out the beautiful motivational message for you, Gemini, and all of your connections. And what you have for today and onward is, we should not fear an obsession for building a great free life. Yes. I want to obsess on that as much as possible. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful energy, right? That's a beautiful message. Never fear that. Fear in itself is just that. Fear is fear, right? And we don't even know what the outcome is a lot of times. It's just our fear about it. So we want to take that out of the mix right off the bat. Love that for you. Then we're going to move on to the Psychic Tarot for the Heart message. Once again, just for all the beautiful Geminis and the connections you have, and just bringing you so much love and encouragement and upliftment for your day, your week, your month, your life. These have been so special and so perfect. Let's see what God and Spirit wants me to bring out right now. Coming together. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I can't even begin to say. I mean, this is what Gemini is about. This is what the Gemini eclipse is about. Commerce, communication, connection, coming together. What number is that? It must be 2. Of course it is. It's partnerships, the duality of Gemini. It's so beautiful. Connection, right? I love it. I mean, thank you, Spirit. I've never ceased to being amazed at how much I'm being helped with these readings. Now, I'm going to read to you what it says, though, specifically for you. Listen. Keywords: see, hear, sense, quiet, intuition, knowing. Now, that might be saying a lot for Geminis, but not really. In order for them to share and to be that communicative and that accessible to their thoughts and their ideas, they have to have that silence, even if it's in their dreams. Take a moment to quiet your mental chatter and listen. In relationships, it's important to pay attention to what the other person is really saying. Too often in conversation, you're already planning what you're going to say while the other person is still talking. Oops. You make assumptions about where the conversation is going, and you plan your part of the conversation accordingly. Even working the conversation to a desired outcome. When this happens, you don't truly hear what the other person said, and in doing so, you weren't present for that person. So those are just beautiful words that I know we know, but we just to remind us of that. How many have been, guilty of the person, talking, and you're like, yeah, I get it. That's beautiful. What is the affirmation? I honor myself by being present and truly listening to the messages I hear. Now, the traditional tarot archetype for that would be the High Priestess, which did not come up. That's like the female version of the, what am I trying to say? The Magician. Just the knowledge and the mastering of our mind and our ability and capability to do and achieve and master anything. But especially from internally, the intuition that we all have. Then I'm going to finish with your Super Attractor Manifestation deck card and message. And this is about bringing into our reality the life we want, because we feel it into reality. And once again, listening into our intuition to see what that really is for each and every one of us. For the Geminis, one of my favorites, feathers are beautiful. A lot of times if you find a feather, there's that angelic guidance, which is always there, but that's like a symbol. I hope you see feathers now that I said that. I keep them. I have them up around the house. The universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. And that's what I love about these love connection readings. That's the most important energy we can provide or allow or, give in our life. And it's the most healing. And it comes from our heart, which is the most intelligent organ in our body. It just knows, Thank God for our hearts. And thank God for you. So, yes, I appreciate you so much. I feel so good being back here today. Come back again and continue to watch if you'd like, because you get a reading every single day with a different featured sign. And I'm just wishing you beautiful, beautiful times if I don't see you until next month again. Happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. Well, I'll get back to that, but I love you and appreciate you. And so till next time, take care and bye for now.